Hey guys, this is my video on how to kill Shrowd. I'm going to preface this video with a loadout and then I'll give you a few tips and tricks on how to kill him. Here's my loadout. You can see I'm running full Rage Tail and I'm running full Razor Wing Sword. Rage Tail is just there because it's the most accessible armor that you can get and it's really good for its toughness. For the Lantern I'm running Ember Mage Rapture. It's just good for me for a solo situation. You can run Drask or Strike Seal. For my pots, I'm really running nothing. I have Bulwark Toning just in case I really need it, but you shouldn't need anything but your health pots. For my infusions, you can see that I'm running +4 toughness, +5 bloodless. These are just from Rage Tail, so don't worry too much about it if you don't have it. +3 9 lives, just from Rage Tail having 2 defensive slots, and I found it a lot more useful than anything else. Rage Hunter, Sharpened, Bladestorm, just damage cells, really good for breaking parts. Medic is just there on my Lantern. Agility on my sword. What I really recommend is you having at least +7 gear because it really helps on having that extra resistance and that extra power. The resistance helps you take less damage because these, at least with but Rezakiri and Shrowd, you take a lot of damage. So I would really recommend that you go into this fight having at least +7 or +8 armor. At the very minimum. You'll see that in a lot of pug groups that a lot of times you see people with like fresh heroic armor and they just get carried all the way, or they just cause us to wipe because of how many times they die. For me, I really recommend that you go in solo first to learn all the mechanics and then start going into other groups if you really need it, but every boss can be soloable and I'll show that to you here. So here I'm going to find a boss. I'm going to look at Shrowd, and then I'll catch up with you in just a moment when I find him. Okay, hey, we're back. Okay, so here we have Shrowd. One of his main attacks is that he'll throw tar at you whenever you're at range. You can see him posing, looking at us, calling us out right now. So if you stand in that tar that happens to be on the ground, you will get a debuff. That debuff will take damage down on you until you attack him. That's the best way to remove it. You can also, actually healing is, I think your healing pot removes it, but the Aether Vent does not. He also has a couple swipe attacks that are very basic. His tail is very noticeable, so you should be able to dodge that. The only thing that is kind of delayed are his slam and when he flies in the sky. When he flies, you don't want to dodge when he's in the air. You want to dodge as he's coming down because the hitbox or the time it hits you is as soon as he hits the ground. It's not any time before that, so you want to make sure you dodge that as he's flying towards the ground because he flies up really high, so if you dodge too early you can get hit by his attack. His slam, the time it hits you, by the time it hits you and the time it hits the ground is a little earlier, so you want to dodge a little early or you can just run away from it. It's not too big of a deal. You're gonna see me maneuvering around the boss in a way where it allows me to continuously do DPS, because with fights like Shrowd and Rezakiri, the longer the fight takes, the more difficult it gets, and you'll see that in a Shrowd, especially near the end. So I'm gonna go in here. He's been looking at me all day, so let's fight. You see me rolling in. His is a slam. Dodge that. You see how the slam hits you before it even lands on the ground. That's his fly. Dodge as it's coming down. Always putting yourself in a position to do DPS. That's a swipe. As long as you're in between his legs, you shouldn't get damaged. This is mini clone. Just dodge through it. His tar throwing. His slam. Swipe. He's flying. Swipe. Big swipe. As long as you're on the other side of his body, you should be able to dodge that big swipe relatively easily. He's going into enrage. You'll know that by him flying a little bit high to enough where you can't damage him. So in enrage, you'll have a dark zone around you and you won't be able to see anything or hear anything really well. I'm gonna heal here. Big swipe. He's going to slam the ground. Just going to dodge away from it. Anytime he slams the ground, he takes a couple steps back. So that's your cue to Just position yourself in a way where you can do damage. Notice that he's getting tired, so I'm going to do as much damage as I can. 9 lives will save me a little bit there. Clone. I'm going to heal again. Dodge that. Relatively easy fight. He's going in Aether mode. I'm just going to heal a little bit. In Aether mode, that's his sign of him throwing a clone. When he slams the ground, it takes a couple steps back. The clone, you want to make sure you deal with it as soon as you can. Clone has the same attacks as Shrowd, so it shouldn't be that hard to deal with it. Just make sure you kill it, because it gets really hard to deal with Shrowd and the clone at the same time. Shroud's tired here, so I'm just going to do damage. And now he's enraged, so I'm just going to run to the Aether vent and heal up. If I can find it. You can hear Shrowd landing over here. So this is the only boopable attack. You see me dying, I'll just pick myself up. To boop that attack is either a light attack or heavy attack with everything but the chain blades. As soon as you boop it, he gets out of enrage, so that's why it's very important for you to get that boop off. I break his leg here. He's tired, so I'm just gonna wail on him. I broke a couple parts already, so I'm assuming he's gonna run here. He only runs when he hits Aether mode. You can see that right here, he's flying away. So I'm gonna use the Aether vent to heal myself up. I did go down once, but that's mostly because I was really low health and I didn't want to waste my pause on trying to heal myself back up. So instead I used medic to my ability, and it allowed me to heal to full health. I'm gonna find him real quick, and I'll be back with you guys when I find him. Alright guys, I found him. To know that you found him, just look for an Aether vent. He doesn't actually physically appear, he's actually laying around the ground. You can see that with the tar. When you first meet him here, he's gonna try to do a quick one on you, so make sure you try to dodge that. You'll see that with his wing flying at you, just like so. Right here, dodge that, and then continue wailing on him. Always put yourself in a position to do damage. So the first time he does his orb attack. If you do not deal with the orb properly, it will explode after a certain amount of time. And if you're in the radius of explosion, it will bring your health down to 1. Break his other leg. Break his wing. Only thing I have left of his tail and his head, I believe. He's in rage. Anytime he's in rage, just sheath your weapon and run around, look for him. I like to go for the Aether vent as soon as possible, but right now I'm pretty full on health. He's going to summon a ball. To know that a ball is spawning, look at my character. You can see that there's a little black shroud going towards the ball. That's how you know that there's a ball spawning when it's dark like this. I cut off his tail here. He's super mad. Dodge that swipe. Dodge that swipe again. The only thing I have left are his head. I didn't get the boop there, sadly. Put yourself in a position to deal damage. He's gonna summon a clone. Deal with the clone first. So when you're solo, he's relatively low HP for the clone, so it should be super easy to kill. I'm gonna heal up right here. He's tired, so I'm just gonna go for damage. His head is probably the hardest part to hit if you're not a hammer user, so whenever he's down like this, you want to utilize that advantage to hit his head. He's in rage again. I'm gonna go heal. He's spawning a clone. He's in the air. Both of them are in the air, actually. I was going for the boop there. And Shrowd is now dead. So yeah, Shrowd is not too hard to solo. You can see I still had 2 health pots at the end there, and I still had my 8th event. I was still relatively high in health. It took me around 10 minutes. Fastest I ever got was around 6 to 5 minutes, and that was with the same gear setup. So yeah, with Shrowd, I recommend going in solo to learn mechanics. Otherwise, good luck, have fun. See you guys in the next one.